Oh, so you've definitely heard the news. Malcolm-Jamal Warner tragically drowned during a family getaway in Costa Rica with his daughter. And just days before, he posted a video.
What's good? Yes, I got the flower in my hair. Today's my daughter's birthday. She put the flower there, so I'm rocking it. What? It's a beautiful day here in Atlanta. I just wanted to shout out and just spread some love and some good cheer. And you know, life is out here lifing, right? For me and for everybody else. But just wanted to remind you, as I remind myself, that no matter what's going on, there's always a reason to smile.
But here's what's got everyone side-eyeing this tragedy. The details just don't add up. Sure, initial reports can be messy, we get it. But why stick to a shaky story even after so-called confirmation? And oh, it gets juicier. Less than 24 hours after Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death, his wife allegedly lawyered up and magically made herself the sole beneficiary of his $12 million in assets. She allegedly blocked his daughter from saying goodbye, refused an autopsy, and demanded the body go straight to the family. Suspicious? Allegedly. And guess who else allegedly raised an eyebrow? His ex, Regina King, yes, the same woman he once booted from his house with her child and zero explanation. Wild, right? But wait, there's more. According to Costa Rica's Judicial Investigation Agency, OJ, Warner was chilling at the beach with his 8-year-old daughter on July 20th when a current swept him away, but they claim the daughter wasn't in the water. Meanwhile, other reports insist she was. The Red Cross also treated the girl on site, and she didn't need to go to the clinic. I don't know why the OJ is saying that since they weren't present at the scene. They interviewed Malcolm's family, but they also weren't there at the time of the accident. They were bathing together and were caught by a rip current. Obviously, as a father, he fought for his daughter, but the current in that area is very strong, and they couldn't accomplish the objective. 2 people who were there at the location went in with a surfboard and a boogie board to help rescue the people who were caught in the current. They managed to stay with the girl, managed to get her onto the board, but due to the strength of the current, one of them from Nicaragua had to let go of the board and push it toward the shore so the girl could make it to land or the coast. Okay, let's be real, it's super sketchy that nobody can agree on what actually happened. Conflicting reports, zero clarity, and radio silence ever since? Yeah, that's the kind of chaos that sends conspiracy theorists into overdrive. And trust, fans were not letting it slide. They wanted answers about the conflicting timelines and fast. But just when you thought it couldn't get messier, turns out there were no lifeguards on duty when Malcolm-Jamal Warner drowned. Yep, not a single one. We deeply regret the passing of Malcolm-Jamal Warner at Playa Grande. He was swept away by a strong rip current and died by drowning. It all happened very quickly, and although there were people on the beach who entered the water to rescue him, they did not arrive in time. He was pulled from underwater without vital signs, and despite CPR maneuvers being performed on the beach, resuscitation was unsuccessful. Due to recent aquatic incidents in Playa Negra, we had redirected resources there and to Chiquita, another iconic beach known for its strong currents. We do everything within our reach. We have saved numerous lives in recent years. And if Caribbean Guard didn't exist, the number of drownings would be counted in dozens. We give everything we have to minimize the risks. But without help from the government, clear public policies, and strong support from local business owners, this will continue to happen. So yeah, with all this back and forth chaos, people are still asking, what really happened to Malcolm-Jamal Warner? And allegedly, behind closed doors, none other than his ex, Regina King, has been asking those same burning questions. But before we get into that, let's talk about how she reacted publicly, and trust me, no one expected it. Given how ugly things ended between them, most people assumed she'd stay silent. But nope. Regina posted a photo of Malcolm on a motorcycle with the caption, "Some people leave a lasting imprint, not just for who they were, but for the energy they carried. I'm sending prayers filled with love and understanding to your family and loved ones. Rest easy, Malcolm-Jamal Warner." She followed it with another photo and the caption, "Ride in Power." Now, for those who don't know, their past isn't exactly a love story. They first crossed paths in the 80s as sitcom darlings and finally got together in 2011, a nostalgic dream come true for fans. But they kept it hush-hush. In October 2011, Warner told BET why they stayed low-key, saying, "I think Regina and I are both of the philosophy that we keep our private lives private. All relationships go through all kinds of peaks and valleys, and I think it's unfortunate. When you live in the public eye, of course, your peaks and valleys are going to be heavily scrutinized. So, we just kind of prefer to protect what we have going on because relationships are work anyway. We don't need the rest of the world to know our Kool-Aid. So, we like to protect what we have because it's very special and very precious." Meanwhile, Regina King was over here thinking the stars had finally aligned. In 2012, she actually opened up about
Oh my God! Sit down!
"I believe the universe has a plan, and we probably wouldn't have been ready years ago. We both had to do whatever we had to do to be ready for each other now. Unfortunately, that relationship ended after just 2 years in March 2013. And based on what she said, it's one of the things that completely broke Regina. At the time, sources reported that Regina was totally blindsided and heartbroken after Malcolm called things off because he wasn't feeling it. And get this, he didn't just end things. Malcolm-Jamal Warner straight up told Regina and her son, who were living in his house, to pack up and get out. And you won't believe that Malcolm actually broke up with Regina on Valentine's Day. She didn't hold back when asked about her favorite Valentine's gift. Regina King told Us Weekly straight up, "That's tough because I don't have one. Someone broke up with me on Valentine's. I'm serious. Then he actually sent me flowers that said, 'I still love you.' And I threw the flowers in the trash, and he was upset that I threw them in the trash. Baby, if Heartbreak had a playlist, this would be track 1. Imagine getting dumped on Valentine's Day, then the man tries to smooth it over with a sad little bouquet. Please." These two had known each other for decades, and out of nowhere, Malcolm-Jamal Warner just called it quits. Naturally, Regina King was blindsided and heartbroken, left wondering what the hell even happened. After the breakup, she wasn't rushing back into love either. In a 2015 interview with Wendy Williams, Regina admitted she had zero interest in dating and was way too wrapped up in work to even try.
You know, I need to do a better job at it. I do. I've been so busy with work, and my girlfriends are like, "Do you think a man's just gonna go knock on the door and like, I'm here?" And I think I wish he would, but I have to make that more of a priority.
Look, say what you want, but Regina King handled it like a queen. After everything Malcolm-Jamal Warner put her through, dumping her on Valentine's Day, kicking her and her son out with no warning, she still chose grace. And when you remember what later happened with her son, phew, that tribute hit different. Y'all remember her first sit-down after Ian's passing with Robin Roberts? You could see the pain hadn't left. Regina opened up about her son's decision to take his own life, saying she'd finally had time to sit with it. She said she now respects and understands that Ian didn't want to be here anymore, even if that's something people struggle to accept, especially when they haven't walked his path. She also went on to say that being Ian's mom is her favorite thing about herself, and she can't say that with a smile, with tears, with all of the emotion that comes with that if she doesn't respect his journey. In addition, she said that there are moments where she still feels her son's physical presence. Sometimes it'll trigger laughter. Most times it triggers a smile, but sometimes his absence is really loud. But regardless, as far as Regina King is concerned, she's not the same woman she was before Ian's death. Grief changed her deeply. She is a different person now than she was before Ian's death. And she understands now that grief is a journey, and it is love that has no place to go.
And the sadness will never go away. It'll always be with me. And I think I saw somewhere the sadness is a reminder of how much he means to me, you know?
You just know that when Malcolm-Jamal Warner died, Regina King had a moment, like, this is the same man who kicked me and my son out without so much as a reason, and yet, she still posted the most heartfelt tribute. That's strength. But let's not forget the mess surrounding his death. Still raising eyebrows. The contradictions in the official story have people, including Regina, asking, why the secrecy? What's being covered up here? And when you add in those shady allegations about the wife and whispers that Malcolm was planning to expose something called the Theopiles about the elite, yeah, it starts to sound less like a tragedy and more like a thriller. I don't want to believe something sinister happened, but seriously, do you think this was just a freak accident, or is something shady lurking beneath the surface? Let me know what you think down in the comments.